Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elizabeth and this is the More Intuitive Me. I'm a tarot reader and your companion on the path of self-discovery. Let's flip some cards and dive into the magic. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time with my Bohemian Gothic Tarot. Now I was fortunate when I picked up the deck that I got the expanded guidebook, and I really like spending time with this because not only did it go a lot deeper than the little white book, but it also shared so much information. Like for example, look, I just opening up here minor arcana swords, and then swords from a Gothic perspective. So it gives you a bunch of information, but not only that, it even gives you, like, for example, here we have the Four of Swords, and then we have some inspiration artwork. So you get a really good idea of how some of this artwork came to be, how it was inspired, and it's been really interesting. But today, what I wanted to do is come over to take a look at the spreads. Now, the book has a little section here. We do have a 1-card draw. We also have the 3-card spread, 5-card spread, but then over here, we get into some of the themed readings. So we have the Prague Threshold spread, the Secret Fears spread, and we also have the vampire spread. So I thought it would be fun to do that today. So I am gonna set this aside and we can jump right in. I'm gonna grab the deck and give it a shuffle, and I'll share with you what the guidebook says about this vampire spread. The spread is not literally about blood-sucking vampires. Instead, it's a way of asking about the people or situations that somehow seem to drain us of life and energy. You might use it if, for instance, you find visits to your parents or other close family disproportionately exhausting, or if major celebrations like holidays or birthdays tend to leave you tired rather than invigorated. There may be some people in your life who somehow seem to have a way of depressing you and robbing you of your vitality and enthusiasm for life. And this spread can be useful for any of these situations. So we're going to be pulling 5 cards for this reading. And we have card number 1. Who or what is draining my energy? Who or what? So, oh, we have the sun. Okay. And then card number 2. Why am I vulnerable to this? Why am I vulnerable? It's right here. Okay, Page of Wands. And then card number 3. What is the main effect of this? What is the main effect this is having on me? What is the main effect that it's having on me? Oh, King of Swords. All right. So card number 4. What should I do in order to avoid this happening? What should I do in order to avoid this happening? Oh, the Hanged Man. Okay, so I'm going to pop that here. And then the final card is card number 5. What should I not do? What should I not do? About this one right here. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. So let me make sure that we're in frame. I'm filming a little bit later than what I normally do. And so it is a little bit, there are going to be some shadows here. I can overlap the cards this way so that you can kind of see what we have. But you can see that we have three majors here as well as two core cards. Very, very interesting. All right, so for card number one, we have who or what is draining my energy. Interesting that we have the sun here. The sun is usually a positive card connected with definitely action, right? I get fire energy from this card, but it's also a card of joy, a card of optimism, of positivity. And so interesting here that we're going to get it in the shadow. What is draining me here, right? Perhaps there is a situation that is making us feel burnout. The sun card is interesting because you would expect this to be a very bright and happy card, but really what we see is in shadow with just a couple of beams of light coming in. And that kind of indicates that we can't really see everything. So you can't take things at face value because there's a lot of things that are hidden from us. So, in terms of this reading with card number one, who or what is draining my energy, it seems like everything isn't out in the light just yet. Let's move on to card number two. We have why am I vulnerable to this? And we have the Page of Wands. Why am I vulnerable? Well, when I think of that page, obviously we have youthful energy here. When I think about kids, I think about how much they love to spend time outdoors, running and playing and having a good time. And I think about the detriment to a child when they don't have the opportunity to spend that time out in the sun, enjoying, playing, growing, exploring. The Page of Wands is indeed that youthful energy, but also the Wands is connected to our passion, our inspiration, the things that motivate us, the things that we desire, maybe passion projects. Or even our sexuality. And so, with this card here, it kind of gives the idea that we're being held back or limited in some way. So why am I vulnerable to this? Because we don't have the full power of the sun. We don't have the full levels of positivity and joy to help us in our experiences. So instead, we are in shadow. That's really interesting. So let's take a look at card number three, and that is what is the main effect that this is having on me? Now, the King of Swords is, I like to think of them as a very intelligent person, a leader for sure, uh, someone who commands respect and attention, that expects to be obeyed. Maybe even in this case, I kind of see a lot of military uh, protecting our space, our kingdom, possibly even on the darker side, maybe a bit defensive. And it's interesting because obviously we're going to have to look at this from the shadow perspective. I would say here that perhaps the main effect that this is having is kind of, I can't help but see like this really cold, stark exterior. And so maybe this separation from our emotional state, right? Very rigid, person. So, in terms of how this could affect us, could be causing us to separate from our emotions, from our intuition. And I feel like that's an interesting card there in that position. So, let's go on to card number 4. We have the Hangman. What should I do in order to avoid this happening? Well, we have the Hangman. It is a major arcana card, and this is calling for a pause, for deeper reflection and for insight. I really like to see the moon in this card here, kind of giving us the idea that things are going to be illuminated for us or brought to our attention that perhaps we wouldn't notice unless we came into this temporary moment of reflection. With the Hangman, I also feel like it's an opportunity to perhaps shake off some of the things that are holding us in place so that we can, in fact, move forward. What can I do in order to avoid this from happening is take a pause and take a closer look at the situation, right? We have something draining energy, and it's kind of holding us back from growing in our journey or following along. And it's like we have this path ahead of us, but we can't continue. We're at a standstill. Why? Because there are things that are being kept from us. And perhaps with this King of Swords energy, maybe this kind of, I see like a very hard line there, this separation of logic and emotion. So, with this Hangman, we have the opportunity to perhaps reintegrate both of those things moving forward. And for the final card, what should I not do? Wow, with that death card, I mean, what should we not do? We should not give up. We should not give up the fight. We should continue, right? We should continue moving forward. It's interesting that the death figure here has the hourglass, kind of letting us know time is a wasting. And if we want to make good use of our time, we have to move forward. We have to move forward. And this is not to put a rush on the situation. I don't think that we have to rush through this Hangman, but I do feel like the longer we stay with this blockage here, if we think about it, the spread is the vampire spread, and it's meant to let us see what are perhaps the things or maybe even the people that are draining our energy. Because when we experience that drainage, we're not able to feel full ourselves. We're not able to fill our own cups, and we're not able to move forward. What a very curious reading. And I must say, even though this is an unusual time for me to film, this lighting is really bringing out the beauty of these cards. And I often struggle with the cold foil stamping on these cards, but in this lighting, it's just spectacular. I love it. All right, so let's recap. This is a powerful reading with a lot of big energy. So we have 3 major arcana cards, 2 court cards, right? So nothing in the minors that have come up at all. So, in position 1, who or what is draining my energy? To me, it seems like not everything is known to us, not everything has been exposed. And that, in and of itself, can be draining when we feel like we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, right? You ever talk to somebody and you're getting the story and you just feel like you're missing very important parts of the story in order for everything to make sense? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting with that card. And then for number 2, why am I vulnerable to this? Well, as a page, I'm a forever student. I'm always looking to grow and to expand and to move and be free. With this fire energy here with the wands, I definitely connect this with action and movement, but I feel like that is hard to do when you don't have everything that you need to move forward. So then we have card number 3. What is the main effect that this is having on me? Well, it's causing a change. It's causing a change in how I view things. Maybe I'm spending more time in this space of logic, of overthinking, of trying to strategize or make sense of everything, and less time plugged into my intuitive self. Moving forward, what can we do in order to avoid this happening? Well, when you feel like you don't know everything just yet and you're kind of stuck in place, the best thing that you could possibly do is perhaps take a moment to pause and reflect, because maybe there is something in our midst, in our shadow, that is holding us back, that we need to purge and release in order for us to do the thing that we need to do. And what should I not do? Succumb to it. Accept that it is what it is. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. That's what I get from this card, believe it or not. It's an interesting spread. I think this is a perfect deck to do this kind of spread with. I feel like this is yet another spread that I would really love to kind of add to my spread arsenal, right? Like slowly. I don't always use spreads, but when I do, it's nice to have a few that are tried and true and that have worked really well for me in the past. So this is definitely one that I would keep for future use. What I'm going to do is I will leave the questions in the description box for you in case you decide that you want to do this spread. Maybe you have a little something going on in your life where you feel perhaps that you are drained or being depleted. Maybe there's a person or a situation in your life that is making you feel like you're less than whole or less than complete, and maybe you want to try the spread for yourself. So I'll leave them for you. Would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever done this spread? Would you consider doing it? Let me know what you think. And thank you so, so much for watching.